The 1998 classic is the 9th animated feature to come out during what is called the Disney Renaissance era, the years of 1989 to 1999. While Disney has seen varying degrees of success in recreating their classics with the magic of live action, the 2D animated classics tend to be evergreen, achieving a level of fulfillment that remakes simply don't deliver in entirety. While the 1998 Mulan was critically acclaimed, the 2020 remake has had to bear mixed reviews. On that note, our movie buffs at MovieHouse, in parallel to re-cherishing the classic, were also able to spot several mistakes, many of which can absolutely be swept under the rug, nonetheless, given how spectacular the movie was. Here are 33 movie mistakes from Disney's 1998 classic, Mulan. 1. Over here, notice how when the matchmaker grabs Mulan's hand, her palm is covered in ink. However, in the subsequent shots, the teapot's handle appears to be ink-proof. The matchmaker unwittingly paints herself a goatee with the ink that's on her palm. But later, the ink appears to have disappeared from her palm as well. 2. As the ladies prepare Mulan for the matchmaker, notice how shampoo foams develop on the singing lady's palms before she applies the shampoo on Mulan. 3. As Mulan wipes away her lipstick singing the Reflection song, she proceeds to sit down on a bench. What do you notice? Well, her lips are darker than in the previous shot where she wiped away her lipstick. 4. Over here. Notice how Mulan's scarf falls off as she tries to grab the tea back from the matchmaker. However, later the fallen scarf is nowhere to be seen, even when the matchmaker falls on the table. 5. Coming back to the Reflection song again, it's not just the lipstick that Mulan wipes off. In fact, she wipes off her entire makeup. Yet, notice how there is no residue on her sleeves. 6. Also again, coming back to this matchmaker scene, notice how Mulan accidentally pours some tea on the table. Well, it's not just Mulan's scarf, but also the tea that's missing in subsequent shots. It's as though someone wiped the table clean and took the scarf with them. Nor are there any tea stains on Mulan's clothes, which is contrary to what one would expect if they spilled tea on a table that they'd later sit on. 7. Over here, as Mulan approaches her father to give the medicinal tea, notice how her dress is full-sleeved. However, when she puts her arms behind her back, the sleeves suddenly appear to have shortened to 3/4 of its length. 8. Coming back again to the hilarious scene with the matchmaker, notice how at first, when the tea splashes on the matchmaker's face, her accidental ink goatee is intact. Yet later, when Mulan throws the tea from the teapot onto her face, the ink appears to run down her face. 9. And yet another error from a shot that precedes the appearance of the matchmaker. Notice how the girl with the green parasol squats on the left and the girl with the pink parasol squats on the right. However, after the matchmaker reappears at the front door, the two girls have switched places. Well, who says they can't? It's not like a military formation or something, is it? 10. Again, as Mulan is being dressed for matchmaking, the beads of jade disappear abruptly as she receives the cricket for luck. Technically, it goes under her clothes, or so let's assume. Well, even from a point of view of errors, the matchmaking and bride affairs are just not for Mulan. Destiny has it different for her. 11. Over here, when Mushu is chasing after Cricky and Cricky insults him, he says, "What you mean, a loser? How about if I pop one of your antennae off and throw it across the yard? Then who's the loser, me or you?" However, this gesture is exactly the opposite, first pointing to Cricky, then to himself. 12. And yet another continuity error here. Before Mushu reveals himself from behind the rock in the bamboo thicket, His shadow shows that he is moving to the left of the rock, but he comes out from behind the rock's right side. 13. Notice how when Mulan is riding on Khan before the cart explodes, she's holding her sword. In the next shot, when she's blown off her horse, the sword is back in its sheath. Were the animators in a haste to finish the job? 14. How can there be rice on the empty bowls? Well, when Chien-Po causes everyone to fall down, rice flies out of the bowls of the people who were waiting in line for food, though their bowls were empty. 15. Again in the same scene, when Chien-Po collides with the men standing in line to get their rice, he's standing up. However, in the next shot, he's lying on his back. 16. Now it appears there was nobody in the animation team to keep a check on the number of soldiers that were in Lai Shang's command. As the movie proceeds through the scenes, we can see them continually decrease in number, although there were no casualties. 17. Look how before Mulan punches Yao, she is holding her father's conscription notice in her hand. However, after the punch, the conscription is in the sash around her waist. 18. When Shang demands the conscription notice from Mulan, he has his sword well tucked near his waist. However, when he commands the troops that they will be picking up every single grain of rice, the sword disappears. 19. Now this is a rather big mistake. Notice how the very design of the stone statue changes after it is broken by Mushu. Errors like these happen when there's not much attention to detail. 20. Notice how when the soldiers arrive at the city that has been destroyed by the Huns, there are no footprints except for those of the soldiers. But there should be thousands of them left from the Huns, army, and villagers who battled there. Had it been snow that covered the footprints, then it should have been white. 21. In the close-up shot where Mulan picks the doll in the ruins of the village, her glove turns blue, and then back to green in the subsequent shot. 22. In this heroic scene where Mulan is being rescued during the avalanche, notice how they shoot an arrow which Yao grabs with the point down. However, in the next shot, it can be seen that he is holding the pointed end. 23. In this scene again, when Yao Ling and Chien-Po are racing to help Mulan in the avalanche scene, Yao's sword is shaped like a scimitar. In the next scene, it's a straight sword. You may have missed this because of how captivating that scene was. 24. And here is yet another big error. Notice how Mulan's helmet flies off her head due to the carriage blast. However, when she is left behind in the mountains, her helmet reappears next to her, as if the helmet has a mind of its own. 25. You may have missed to notice the ribbon on the scene because of how captivating the scene is. Well, enough said. 26. In this twist of a scene, notice how the dragon within which the Hun soldiers are hiding is facing the people's left. However, when they initiate the ambush after bursting out of the dragon, we can see that it's facing straight in front of them. 27. What's problematic here is the hole Shan Yu makes on the roof as he burst out. As Mulan and Shan Yu fight, the hole disappears for a few shots. But later, after Mushu fires the rocket into Shan Yu, Mulan runs off the roof, jumping over the hole, which was reappeared. 28. As an issue with sync, when Mulan says, "Chien-Po, get the Emperor," her mouth movements do not match with what she's saying. Well, no need to make a big deal out of this one, because the whole crew has done a tremendous job with the dialogues. 29. And here is yet another color mismatch error. When Mulan, Ling, Chien-Po, and Yao dress up as concubines in order to defeat the guards to get to the Emperor, Mulan is seen to have a green fan. But when she's on the roof with Shan Yu, she pulls out a yellow fan. 30. And here's yet another disappearance error. Notice how the two Huns that carry the Emperor to the balcony both have swords at their sides, which disappear after Shan Yu orders them to guard the door. 31. Coming back to the balcony fight scene, Shan Yu knocks Shang unconscious with a headbutt and throws him. What bothers us is that Shang lands on his side, and when we see him next, he's lying on his back, and then on his front when Mulan runs to him. 32. Color error. Shang's armor changes color from blue to gray. 33. Lastly, let's have another look at this daring avalanche scene. And what offends our sense of logic is how the length of the rope appears to change from when it is thrown to when it is being pulled. Here, have a look at it yourself. But we are delighted that Mulan is saved. That's all, folks. Hope you've enjoyed the video. We must mention that even with these errors, Mulan continues to be a treasure among Disney reels, and in many ways, it appears to outperform the live-action remake. Some things are just irreplaceable. With that being said, don't forget to like and subscribe to MovieHouse. And do follow us on Instagram for more such engaging content.